Welcome, everybody. This is Karen. We're going to get started in a few minutes. Today's presentation is not for everybody. It's a little bit more technical than some I do, but it's probably one of the most useful things that you can learn. So I'm really excited about presenting this material. Could I get a thumbs up if you can hear me okay? And if you see my screen okay? Thank you. And I do call this presentation the HubSpot Killer. I get a lot of, as most of you know, I've dealt with ACT for a number of years. I have a lot of people that want to switch from ACT, and the products that people really look at are Microsoft Dynamics, Salesforce, and HubSpot. So a couple of years ago, I had a very large client that wanted to move to HubSpot. So I spent the entire Christmas holiday, because it was a large client, getting all the HubSpot certifications. So I know that product very, very well. And the big thing that HubSpot is known for is inbound marketing. That means we get the leads come to us. You don't have to be buying a list. You don't have to be going, doing internet searches. Those leads are going to come into you. So of course, everybody thinks, yeah, it's a really cool thing. And they sign up for HubSpot because HubSpot sells it really nicely. What people don't realize is those same tools, honestly, the identical tools exist as part of Zoho One. And a lot of you already have those tools. So you can go spend about $3,500 and sign up for HubSpot Marketing, the Marketing Hub, or you can learn how to use the tools that you've already got for free. And as much as they may tell you at HubSpot that, oh, it's going to be simple, what they don't tell you, at least what they didn't tell me, was that I was going to have to redo my entire website, which wasn't really in the bargain. I just wanted to deal with the CRM. I did not want to make major changes to my website, at least not at that time. But with these Zoho tools, we actually could use our existing website. And that's what I find so cool. These tools are very easy to kind of snap into your existing website, and they work. And I use them myself. What I really like about them is with marketing, with inbound marketing, you kind of have a choice. You can do it yourself or you can hire someone. And yeah, there's a lot of great marketing firms out there, and they'll get you lots of, inbound leads, and you probably get emails every day that promise you they're going to get you 20 leads a day, 30 leads a day, whatever. But you're going to pay for them. Some companies like mine are pretty small. And I can tell you that I've been managed to, even as a small company, become the number one reseller for both ACT and pretty much Zoho. Just kind of using my own marketing efforts. I have never hired a marketing company. I mean, that said, obviously I've written books and I've got a lot of notoriety that way, but these tools really do work. They are a little tricky, but I am going to be going over them, and just want you to realize that you have these tools for free. Okay. I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Let's go ahead and get started. So I like to call this the HubSpot Killer, using Zoho Social and Zoho SalesIQ. So one of the questions I get all the time is, Karen, I have Zoho One. What are your favorite tools? And there are about 60 tools that are now bundled with Zoho One. Honestly, I do not use most of them. I use a very small portion. So my absolute favorites, obviously, are Zoho CRM, Zoho Books, which I think I'm going to cover next month, and Zoho Social and SalesIQ. So today we're going to focus on Zoho Social and Zoho SalesIQ. So the setup for both of these products is pretty easy. You can always find them. Zoho Social is social.zoho.com. SalesIQ is salesiq.zoho.com. So they're easy to find. So Zoho Social basically helps businesses to manage all their social media in one place. That means seeing what people are saying about you and posting. And this could be Google, it could be YouTube, it could be Facebook, it could be LinkedIn, all the different ways that you may want to post and hear what people say about you. Sales IQ is a chatbot. And they kind of go hand in hand. So what exactly is Zoho Social? Well, it's an application that allows you to schedule your social media posts, monitor all your social media accounts in one place. You know, how many members do you have? Who's listening? How many new people did you get? You can listen to track mentions of your brands. You can see what your customers are posting. You can spy on your competition. Every so often, somebody might say something nasty about you on social media, and it's kind of nice to be able to monitor it and say, whoa, I just got a really bad review. Maybe you know why you got that bad review. Maybe it was a disgruntled client who was disgruntled because they wanted you to work, but they didn't want to pay you. And maybe, you know, just knowing that there's that negative review out there, you could go in and put a reply and say, hey, you know, it was really great working with you, but unfortunately, I can't continue providing service without payment. You know, if you'd like to pay that outstanding bill, I'd be more than happy to work with you. Yeah, then people understand why that person gave you a 1-star review. I've written 14 books. I've had people post negative reviews because they ordered my book and the UPS guy left it out in the pouring rain and it was wet. Don't really feel like that's my fault. So sometimes I'd get those 1-star reviews and I'd reply to them and say, hey, so sorry your book was wet when it was delivered. Why don't you contact Amazon and they'll probably send you a new one for free. So we can hook up Zoho Social with basically any of the social media accounts. Zoho is an Indian company and they do deal with people in South America and Europe. So honestly, there were some social media sites that I had never in my life heard of. So these are the main ones that I identified. Facebook, LinkedIn, X, TikTok, YouTube. But, you know, like I've got a friend here, Steve, who's from Scotland. I don't know, there might be a European social media that you're really into. You could probably hook up to that as well. So to monitor your social media accounts, you go into, again, social, that's zoho.com. And you can see here, I've got my YouTube site and my LinkedIn site. And tell me how many people I have that are following me. YouTube is a real brand new one for me. So I'm just starting to put my videos up on YouTube. So that's one that I'm really spending a lot of time on. It'll show you what all your recent posts are for your various sites. You can see your scheduled post. What posts have you scheduled? And you can see posts that you scheduled. Again, I'm doing posts on LinkedIn, Google, and YouTube. So going into, again, social.zoho.com, we can go into our posts. We can see our published posts. We can see all those posts that you've published. So how do you connect your social networks? It's very easy. You're going to go into the setup because we know everything starts at setup with Zoho. And we go to our social channels and it's going to list all the different social channels. And all you have to do is just hit connect, type in your username and password, and you're done. It's not a hard setup to get set up to this. Now, I know I've got at least one person on board that's doing work for an outside company. You'd have to get permission from that outside company to set up and monitor that company. But I do have a number of clients that are actually agencies, marketing agencies, that are using this product to work with different clients. So yeah, it is possible to do this for your clients. So then we want to create and schedule your posts. So it's pretty easy. You go up to posts and they have a calendar and you pick the date that you want to have a post. The date really doesn't make all that much difference because when you go down here and you say, I want to add a post, new post, it's going to say, well, do you want to publish it now? Do you want to schedule it for a specific date? Do you want to add it to the queue? You can actually set up a queue like, I'm going to put in posts and every 5 days, I'm going to push one of them out. Or me, I usually schedule for a specific date. That's what I like to do. And you have a choice of, you can compose with Zaya, which means AI, let AI figure this out for you, or you can type in your own. Now, if you want to be super, super cheap, you could just go into ChatGPT and say, write me a post about XXXXY, include hashtags that are appropriate for LinkedIn. Take it, copy and paste it in, and you're done. But I'm lazy. So first off, I want to give you a little bonus. I always give you 3 bonuses. So one of those bonuses is, what in the heck are you going to post about? I mean, me, I can post about a webinar. I'm going to have a webinar. It's an obvious thing to post about. But I actually use a site called calendar.com. That's calendar with 2 R's. And they give you month by month every holiday that you could possibly imagine. So at the beginning of the year, I go through and I just do some low-hanging fruit, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, and I post those things in advance. So believe it or not, on January 1st, I was going to do a New Year's resolution. Then I decided, it's National Doodle Day. And as you can see, I've got a gorgeous little doodle by the name of Pepper. So I posted about her on January 1st. It said, hey, it's National Doodle Day. That was actually my most popular post of the year, sadly, on LinkedIn, because everybody wanted to either comment about how cute Pepper is, because she is adorable, or tell me about their doodle or their bird or their snake or their kitty or their chihuahua or whatever they happen to have. But this is a good place to at least start if you're looking for some ideas and things to post to. Now, when we go to write the post, you want to use it with AI, you do something like type in, write a short, brief post celebrating Doodle Day. I usually like to keep them short because I find that people don't want to read very long posts. And I could say, we'll include hashtags, those things that will get you found on LinkedIn, include images, include emojis, those little pictures, just make it a little more enticing. And you can say how many suggestions you would like. Would you like just 1 suggestion? Would you like 2 suggestions for a post? Now, if you are cheap, again, you're not going to be using Zaya. You're going to be pasting this in from ChatGPT. But if you do want to be using the AI, you're going to get this nasty message, which is going to sound really scary. And you're going to think, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to spend a lot of money. And it's going to tell you that you have to go to platform.openai.com. OpenAI is the parent company of ChatGPT, by the way. And you're going to have to link in your ChatGPT account and pay some money. And some of you are going to want to do this. Some of you aren't going to want to do this. But let me tell you, it's stupid simple. So once you go to the OpenAI platform, you're going to create a new secret key. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. And when you go back to Zoho Social, you're going to go over to Settings, Preferences, Zaya. You can see it right here. This is Zoho Social, Preferences. And it's going to ask you for that secret key. And you're going to copy and paste it in. That's it. You do it one time. I did mine, I think last year sometime. You copy and paste in that secret key. Now, as far as pricing, again, I'm at that platform.openai.com. And I went to my settings. The API key is where I got that secret code, because that's how we link websites together, is through something called API. Don't ask me to write API code. I am not a coder. I will fail miserably. But I can go in here, get your API code, and copy it like I did here into Zaya. That's all it is. Now we have pricing. So we go into billing. And I am a big spender. I got to tell you, I'm a big spender when it comes to my social media. So I chose the pay-as-you-go plan. This is like your car. You fill it up with gasoline. When you're out of gasoline, you have a choice of either filling it up again or not using your car. And you can fill it up and you could say, hey, I want $20 worth. Exactly the same here. So I was a huge spender. And this is my actual bill that I did. I went in and added an additional whopping $10. Not 100, not 1,000, $10. I'm a big spender. That gave me enough to start adding that AI. Now, last year I spent a whopping $20, $20, and that basically gave me enough bandwidth to create a year's worth of posts in advance. I did it in January, scheduled all my posts, and there I am. But for purposes of this, I put in my $10, and that lets me go into that, schedule automatically with, AI. And I wanted to post something to LinkedIn for this webinar. So I said, hey, write me a LinkedIn post for my webinar. And I said, give me 2 examples and give me some pictures and give me some emojis. So it gave me 2 choices, and it gave me some hashtags. It gave me the emojis, and it gave me some pictures. So I picked the one that I wanted. I just clicked add to compose, picked the date, and I said, do it immediately. Done. It took me all of about, I'm going to say 2 minutes to come up with a LinkedIn post about my webinar. Okay, you can also monitor your posts in one place. If you go over here to monitor, you can set up the different social networks you have. Here's reviews. I don't get a lot of people. I don't post a lot on Google. People don't seem to post a lot about me on Google, but I have it up here just in case one of you decides to be nasty and put something nasty about me. I'll know about it. I can see, what my YouTube is doing, what posts I have in there. And you can, I could set this up for LinkedIn and look at all my posts. I can go and I can run reports on this if I want. So I can run reports on LinkedIn or Google or YouTube, see how many followers I have, see how many posts and engagements I have. So it's all kinds of fun things I can do with this. Now, here is one of my bonuses, the second bonus. I give you 3 bonuses with every one of these webinars. This is a stupid bonus, but you could spy on your competition. Sounds stupid, but if you have a competition and they seem to be outrunning you, maybe you want to find out what they're posting about and post about the same things. So we can go over to posts, and you can set up what's called RSS feeds. Most websites will have a RSS feed on them. If they don't, you can go into Google, and a lot of times you can take their URL and create an RSS feed. So, for example, one of the posts that I follow, one of the websites I follow, is the Zoho blog. Why? Because they post some good material. They're a national company or an international company. They've got 17,000 employees. They've got a huge marketing department. So when they post on something, I want to know it, because sometimes I'll take them. I don't copy them verbatim, but I'll reword them, or maybe I'll just repost something that they've posted. So it's kind of cool to be able to go in there and view other people, whether it's competitors, maybe it's a site where you get information, but this is where you can actually go in and monitor and view the work of other people. So Zoho Social, I love for small businesses because it's an inexpensive way to post to social media. I like it for your sales teams because it's a source of inbound marketing. The more you post, the more hashtags you're using, the more inbound marketing you're going to get. And that is the secret sauce of HubSpot. That's all. That's all they're doing is they're putting links in your website and they're getting you to post. They're suggesting some post ideas, just like I showed you with ChatGPT or with OpenAI, and they're getting people to come based on your post. If you have a website, if you build it, this isn't like what was that Kevin Costner movie. They will not come. You have to have a reason to draw people to your website. And Zoho Social is great for support teams. If people are talking about your products in a bad way, you want to do something about that right away. So now we're going to talk about SalesIQ, and I kind of feel like SalesIQ and Zoho Social go hand in hand. So SalesIQ is a live chat and visitor tracking tool that helps you chat with your website visitors in real time, track how people use your site, identify potential leads, boost engagement and conversions. So in other words, SalesIQ is that annoying chat bot. I know we all hate it, But folks, I get a lot of business from my annoying chatbot. And no, I don't sit there monitoring it. So to put in perspective, put these two pieces together, Zoho Social attracts visitors to your website. Zoho SalesIQ helps convert them. And this is exactly what HubSpot is doing at a fraction of the price. I'm not trying to sell against HubSpot. If you love HubSpot, by all means, keep using it. But you are paying a lot of money for it. And a lot of you have these tools or you're considering HubSpot and you're not using these tools. So the SalesIQ key features, we have a live chat where we can talk to visitors. We have visitor tracking, so we can see how many visitors are coming to your website. Where are they coming from? We can capture leads. When people go into SalesIQ and engage with that chatbot, Karen, silly me, asks them for two things, their name and their email address, and that goes automatically into my CRM as a lead. So this is different. A lot of you have web forms on your website, and those are wonderful. You can fill out a web form. It will go into Zoho CRM automatically. But this is for people who don't want to fill out a form. They're just looking for a question. Just looking for an easy answer. So here's an example of my chat bot. That's pretty, I don't ask for a lot. I say, hey, I'm Tech Vendors. I'm here to help. And how can I help you today? If they click and they say they want to put in a message, all I ask for is their name and their email address. I'm not picky. Just give me your name and your email address. You want to ask me a question? I want to get that information. Keep it simple. I have clients that have 7, 8, 9 pieces of information that they ask for. I just want people to sign up. I don't want to, hound them for their information. If they want to do business with me, I'll get that information later. But that's my way of looking at it. So once they type that in, all this information automatically goes to Zoho CRM. So here's a lead that I got, and there'll be a note, and that note will actually be what the person wrote in the chat, what they were looking for. I get an attachment. It actually tells me where they came from. Was it a Google search? How long they spent on my website? What pages they went into? It sets up an open activity. So I get a task that says, hey, you had somebody new come by on your chatbot. Do something about it. Because, it's not enough for people to visit my website. I want to offer them some feedback. I literally got 2 clients just this morning from people that went into my website last night and asked questions. It works, folks. It also gives them some information about how often it takes that information about how often they go there and where they're going, how much time they're spending, and it gives it a score. So getting started with that basic SalesIQ setup, you go to salesiq.zoho.com, you sign in with your Zoho credentials, you go to settings, brands, add, and installation. And you're going to get a generated code, just like we had before, an API code, and you're going to paste that into your website's header and footer. I know this sounds tricky. It sounds terrible. It sounds horrible. It is not. You just get this code, give it, if you don't do your own website and don't know how to get into your header footer, give it to your website developer. He should charge you for about 15 minutes of work because that's all it is. He'll go into the header, paste it in. You do the same thing if you want to hook up to something like the Google Web Console. So here it is. I know this is a little small, but I went to salesiq.zoho.com and I added a new website. So here we had Tech Vendors. So I went in, I said, hey, I want to do the installation. So I went into website. I honestly, don't ask me about, let's see, email signature, I guess would be if they want to chat right from my signature. I didn't want that. I'm not sure how Android and iOS work. I just want people to go into my website and use a chatbot. Honestly, I haven't even explored these. They're probably terrific. I don't know. Don't ask. So once I went into website, it said, okay, what kind of website do you have? Do you have a regular website, kind of an HTML website, or do you have a WordPress website? I had a WordPress website. So I just went and I copied that code and then I sent it over to my web developer and said, put this in the header. That's it. That's all I needed to do. And that links my website to SalesIQ. And by the way, I know there's a lot of stuff here. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. The stuff is it's pretty technical. It's easy, but it is a little bit technical. Okay, setting up the chatbot. So again, I go into that SalesIQ.zoho.com. I go up to the settings. I go to the bots area, and you can see we have the Zobot. There is an answer bot. I played with that. That meant if someone asked a question, it would automatically give them an answer. Problem I ran into is that people never asked for things in the same way. Sometimes they would say, I have Act 2011 Pro. Sometimes they would say, I have Act Pro 2011. Sometimes they would say, I have Act 11. They came up with all different ways of asking it. So I found it just wasn't working for me. So what I found was easier is I set up this little Zobot. And basically, if you look down here, I say, hi, welcome to Tech Vendors. Are you interested in ACT or Zoho? So I kind of know what they're looking for. And then I say, hey, you can find more information. And I have a really good FAQ, frequently asked questions on my website. I direct them there. So if there's things they want, that's probably the best place for them to go to my website to find information. And I also say, hey, if you didn't find your question, here's my phone number. Here's my email address. I'm just trying to make it as easy and friendly for people to reach out to me as possible. So the other cool thing about SalesIQ, and honestly, I very rarely do this, and I'll show you in a minute why not. I can go to SalesIQ and I can see a live view. It is amazing. I don't leave this on because every time someone comes to my website, I get a beep. Theoretically, I could do live answers. I just don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the bandwidth to monitor the sales bot and be answering questions. I get emails. I get phone calls. I get smoke signals. I just don't have it in me. So I usually don't have this on. But ironically, just about anytime I go into my website, I could see people, how long they've been on my site, and what country they're from. Now, if I click on them, click on either one of those. So again, if I was interested in this guy, I just have to click on him. It tells me, oh, he came in from Google search. And this is kind of cute. He came in and he looked for, how do I export all of my ACT data out of Zoho? And then he left. And then 5 minutes later, he came back again, looked for the same thing. And then he left. About another 10 minutes later, he came back again. So I get an idea of this guy's obviously looking to export his data out of ACT. Now, I can click here and start a proactive chat. I could say, hey, I see you're looking for help to export your data from ACT. But I can tell you, at least in my experience, you guys might be different. My website visitors are scaredy cats. They usually run when I click and start a proactive chat. I mean, it's actually funny. I'll say, hey, can I help you export your ACT data? And I get to see them shut off the website. It's like they think it's haunted. They think I'm like I've taken over their computer. At least that's my experience. Your users might be your visitors might be a little bit more experienced than mine. Mine go running for the hills every time, so I don't even bother to do that. I can run reports. I could see again where people came from. Do they come from referrals? Like someone has my website, like the Zoho, if we went to Zoho.com, they have Tech Vendors on there as one of the partners. So I can see, hey, do they come from a referral site? Do they come from direct? Maybe I sent them a mailing and they clicked on my website from there. Or did they hunt me down through Google? So I can run all kinds of reports. And again, I can see those results in CRM, so I can find out who's really interested. So I went to my leads modules, and I sorted by that visitor score. Zoho gives points. Like that guy that came into my website 3 different times, gives him points. If he would have come into my website 3 different times and looked at 4 different pages, probably would have had higher points. I don't really know. You could go in and devise this point session, points scoring yourself. I don't. I just use the one that comes out of the box. I'm not very sophisticated. But I go over here and I say, okay, let me see all my visitors whose score is over 1. That means anybody who's gone to my website and has a score. I was kind of shocked to see this guy over here had, what is that? 2,900 points, as opposed to some of these people that have 200 points. So that says, okay, let me go in there and that will show me what pages he's been visiting on my website. I actually had, true story, a competitor. There's a big outfit up in Canada who sells ACT, and apparently they were quite interested in what was on my website. And I had somebody with a score out the rooftop. And I went in there and I saw that they had looked at every single article on my website. And I post a lot on my blog, and they had read just about every one of them. So sometimes you can find some good things, and sometimes you find some interesting things when you go back here. So I also get a daily email from SalesIQ. How many visitors did I have per day? So I get this every single day, and I kind of glance at it. But what's kind of interesting is, here's what I got the other day, and it says, okay, you got 6 people came in from direct. They already had your website. 1 came in from referral. They probably came in from the Zoho website or from Amazon website. 2 people searched for you, and here's the top 5 pages they looked at. And that can be very interesting because I like to know what pages people are looking at. What are they finding of interest? Because if people are looking for that free edition of Zoho, maybe I should write about that a little bit more. It gives me ideas, again, tying back to social. What's bringing people into my website? I get a weekly email from SalesIQ, and that will tell me how many people, this week came in from directs. They already had my website. How many people came in from searches? How many people came in from other websites that talk to me? How many people came in from social media? Again, it tells me what are the top 3 interested pages that they're looking for. What are those topics? Because if there's certain topics that people are looking for, by golly, if I'm looking for a topic, I have it right there. So I supplement this with the Google Search Console. Google Search Console is both cool and hard to say. I can go in there and I can find the top performing pages. So sadly, in Google, the top things that people are searching for is ACT Pro 4, ACT for Windows 11, and ACT 6. So both of these programs, the top and the bottom, are about 25 to 30 years old. Sadly, that's what people are searching for. But it's good for me to know what it is they are searching for, because if I want to draw people to my website, got to know what the searches are. And they will also, how do they find me? So that the top, what does it say? Growing queries are ACT Windows 11 and ACT 20. So what pages are they looking at, and what are they searching for? I'll tell you a story very quickly. I used to own a computer school, and I taught private lessons. And I had a very nice gentleman come in once, and he says, I want to learn how to create tabs in Word. Boy, and I taught him so well. I showed him left justified tabs, right justified tabs, newspaper column tabs. I showed him every tab in the universe, and he looked very sad and very blank. And finally, he looked at me very sadly, and he said, he pulled a piece of paper, out of his briefcase. He says, no, I just want tabs so that the top starts, an inch from the top of the page. The bottom was an inch from the page, and each of the sides are an inch from the page. That's all I want to do. And I realized, oh, he didn't want tabs. He wanted margins. So sometimes you think you know what people are searching for, but you don't know what they're searching for. So that's why these tools are so important to help you kind of manage your website. What are they searching for? So you can also monitor your missed chats. You can go to SalesIQ, go down here to visitors, and it will show you, where the people came from, and, how much time they spent on your website, what they searched for. So you can look at all your missed chats if you want. You can also respond to your missed chats. You can go up here to your closed chats and find anyone and just go over here and send them an email and respond to whatever question they asked you. In addition, I get a little gentle reminder from Zoho that says, you missed a chat. And it tells me what it was that he has a question about. And I can just go right here and click on his email. I don't even have to go back to SalesIQ. This is one that came in today. Just clicked on his email and we have an appointment because he wants to move his Act 20 information to Zoho. So lots of ways that we can use that SalesIQ. So another bonus, this is my third bonus for you. You want some great organic SEO? If people are asking you questions, post them as chats on your website. If you have a blog and you have it open to comments, take their questions and post them on as comments on your blog. I do that all the time because I think, hey, if I'm going to answer a question for this guy, may as well answer it for everybody. And it gives you a lot of brownie points with Google if people are putting comments on your website. So I take some of these questions that I get from SalesIQ and I put them on my website as comments. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. You're either asleep or I did a really great job or you have no idea what to ask. Oh, here I got a couple. So one question, can I start SalesIQ on my website just to get the stats and daily emails without having to set up the chat app? Usually when you put SalesIQ, it is the chat because that chat is kind of the link. So if you're looking just to find out who's coming to your website without the SalesIQ, yes, I mean, you could. Theoretically, yes, you could have it without the bot. Just put it in there and you would see the visitors. You're not going to get their information, but it would give you some information about your website. So yeah, you could do that. Someone else says, I do have a question. Currently in my company, I'm the only person using Zoho One. If I install the Zoho chat app via SalesIQ, is there a way for my staff to reply to them without using my Zoho account? Yeah, theoretically, what you could do is just forward those emails to them. I just showed you. Let's go back here. Let's go back. I just showed you that email that I received. Forward that to your staff and say, hey, here's a question I have. Take care of it. So yeah, they don't have to be Zoho One, but they could certainly answer your questions for you easy enough. It gives them their email and it gives them the question. The thing I don't like about doing that, what I don't like about doing that is it doesn't go into Zoho CRM, because for me, I need everything to be in CRM. If I'm going to reply to these people, I want to know that I replied them because it does set up a task. And if someone else is replying, I might be losing my mind. Like, did I reply to them? Did I not reply to them? But that's me. But theoretically, you could just forward them on that email if you want. Okay. Thank you. Someone said they recorded this for further digestion. Great material. This webinar I will listen to several times. Yeah, it is great information. It is a lot. It is technical, but I just think it's so important because so few of my customers, they have Zoho One. They're paying for this stuff. It's part of Zoho One. It's free, and it's like, man, it's such good stuff. I'm a small little business. I've never hired a marketing company, but I get an awful lot, like I said, I've been pretty much the number one, one of the top resellers of both Zoho and Act. And I've done that all through my efforts, and it's not that hard. So I like to see you guys be able to grow your businesses too with these great tools. I don't think I have any other questions, but thank you so much for coming. Let me just see where we are in future meetings. If there's any topic you want covered, please let me know. If you've discovered something yourself, let me know, and maybe I can talk about it in depth. I'm trying to do new topics on the second Wednesday of the month and repurpose topics. I've now done about 20 some webinars. I'm going to start reusing them, pardon me, on the fourth Wednesday of the month. So the 2 weeks from now, I'll probably do kind of an introductory one. That's the next one I'm planning. I do have all the prior sessions on my new YouTube channel, trying to get people to go out there so I don't have to go through the, the rigmarole. Give me a little bit of time. It takes me a while to get them posted. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions. So thank you so much for attending, and I'll see you at the next webinar. Bye, everyone.